All right, so in this part of the lesson, guys, I just had you try to find the zeros of a quadratic. And like I already told you, that's the same thing as just solving the quadratic, figuring out when y is 0, what is x going to be. So in example 4, I just had you do on page 20, the first thing I did, which I've noticed has helped me graph these for solutions, is I took my f of x, my quadratic equation, and I factored it and solved it the factoring method, just so I kind of knew where my solutions were going to be, especially if it's easy. So I factored out my negative. I get x squared plus 8x plus 7 equals 0. And then I know that my two binomials, that factors out to x plus 1 and x plus 7. So my solution is x equals -1 and x equals -7. Now going into my graph, I know there's going to be solutions at these 2 points. So that means if there are solutions there, my y should equal 0 at these 2 points. So going back to the graphing method, I'm going to go ahead and find my line of symmetry, or my x equals, so -b divided by 2a. So -8 is +8, and 2 times -1, which is my a value, is -2. 8 divided by -2 is -4. So I have a line of symmetry at -4, but to actually find the vertex, I have to take this -4 and plug it in to my original quadratic equation. So when I do that here, I get -4 squared minus 4 times -4 minus 7. That comes out to -4 squared is +16, but there's a negative there, so -16 plus 32, negative times negative plus 32 minus 7 comes out to 9. So at this point, I know that I have a vertex at -4, 9, and my quadratic is facing down because my a value is negative. So if I go to my graph on page 20, so far I know this. This is my line of symmetry at -4, and this is my vertex right here. Okay, and it's facing down. So now I got to get some points. So to get some points, I'm going to always start by doing x equals 0, because this is the easiest. So when I plug that in, I have -7. So 1 point is 0, -7. Then by using the line of symmetry, I know that the other point has to be -8, -7. So what does that look like on the graph? Here we go. So we have 0, -7 here, and then line of symmetry, that's 1.5 units, 1.5 units there. Excuse me, I take that back. Here's -7, 0, -7 is here. I'm sorry, that point. And then -8, 7 is here. So I haven't got the solutions yet, so just ignore that part. So I still haven't got these points, but I'm going to get them now. So I kind of already knew from my factoring that -1 was one of the solutions. So I plugged in -1 to my quadratic, and -1 squared is 1, but the negative outside is -1. And then this is +8 minus 7 gives me 0. So now I know my solutions are -1, 0, and -7, 0. So now I can go here and finally graph those. So -1, 0, -7, 0. So my final graph with my solutions, the smooth curve, look like this. And then my solutions would be here, here. So I can, the zeros of the functions, if you will, are -1 and -7. I hope that helps you clarify how to graph and in order to solve quadratic functions.